Minneapolis Airport has this claim to fame. That's right, the 2016 winner for the cleanest restrooms. And if you don't believe me, you can go to bestrestroom.com. Hey, it's Jeff. I'm in my dimly lit room here in Charlotte. Got a couple more days on the road. I'm going to be off the road for a couple of weeks. That sounds good to me. Hey, a couple of questions, though, that came in that are actually really good. One question here, and remember, you can ask any of your questions at ask@jeffshore.com. But here's one of the questions. How do you feel about asking for the sale over the phone? How do you feel about asking for the sale over the phone? And I'm assuming this is, whoever is asking this is asking in a business that's typically face-to-face. And so you look at, home sales or car sales or jewelry, that sort of thing. But sometimes we have that follow-up process where we're trying to stay connected with the customer. Is it appropriate to ask over the phone? Yes, it absolutely is. I think that what you want to do is make it easy for the customer to buy. And oftentimes when they're making those deliberations as to whether I should buy, they're not in front of you anyway. So those conversations take place at home or somewhere else, at office, whatever it is. Should you ask for the sale over the phone? There's nothing that would stop me or cause me to hesitate at all about asking for the sale over the phone. Another question that came in, what is the best way to use my drive time? What's the best way to use my drive time? And I want to recommend to you that I would start how you should not use your drive time, and that's to listen to mindless babble on the radio. So look, it's one thing to be entertained, to listen to music, I get that and everything, although I still not sure why you want to listen to the radio, given the fact that you can decide what music you want to listen to. But if you're looking to say, how do I use my drive time more productively, I want to just turn you on to the world of podcasting. There are amazing people out there who tell amazing stories, and it's all recorded on podcasts totally for free. So just Google it, best podcast or podcast by subject, and you'll find them out there. There's really, really interesting information. But if you haven't gotten there yet, get into the world of podcasting.
Okay, so this is one of the food courts at the Dallas airport, and they had a restaurant here that's closed up. It didn't make it. It was actually a cereal restaurant where you could get all kinds of boxed cereals. I have no idea how that didn't go over.
All right, so I'm on the road here in Columbus, Ohio with my friend and coworker, Amy O'Connor. We're both speaking at the same conference today. What a treat. We don't get to do that very often.
Hardly ever. And look at us, we coordinated.
I know, exactly, absolutely.
We look good, right?
Yeah. You've been talking a lot on the subject of influence and persuasion. And the question is, how do we influence people without pushing too hard and reaching it at that obnoxious song?
Yeah, and what's interesting is salespeople are so sensitive to this, Jeff, that quite often I'm actually not worried about them being too pushy.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them yielding too much.
Well, it's an interesting point. If they're not pushy, not pushy, but if they're not assertive enough, they're not really serving the customer. So you're more worried about them falling on the other side of the scale.
Yeah, where we see that yielding behavior I don't want to close the customer because I'm afraid they'll think I'm pushy, or I don't want to ask some questions because what if they're too sensitive?
Right.
So what we do is we miss our opportunities to help them fulfill their mission.
Do you think that most salespeople could be more aggressive than they are?
Yes, yes, and I think buyers want that. Right, buyers want us to help them.
Right.
And when we come across a yielding salesperson, then that puts the onus on the buyer to do all the work themselves.
Is it an overreach to look at it and say, if you don't get a complaint every now and then maybe you're not quite pushing hard?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We can look at this both ways, but I agree with Amy on this. If you are going to err on the side of being assertive, because that's what your customer needs you to do. As long as your motives are right and you're doing this in your customer's best interest, it's all good. See you next time.